Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tep. I'm glad you made it. Let's talk about, do you have to submit evidence with your claim? What sort of repercussions are there, and what do you need to do to set yourself up for success? Now, there may be strategy actually in filing your claim without all of the evidence that you could potentially provide. And we're going to dive into that because this is, I guess, a strategy that might work if you don't have any other way. Now, I'm going to preface this with, obviously, if you have everything that you need and you have it all ready to go, you should absolutely be submitting your fully developed claim to get that to go through the process, be awarded, and be done. Ideally, you filed an intent to file ahead of time. You got a few months of back pay, up to 1 year, potentially. And you move forward with your claim and you get awarded appropriately and everything moves forward. So ideally, that's what happens. But in some cases, you might not have everything that you need, and there might be a time in which you absolutely need to file the claim to preserve an effective date or preserve a potential rating schedule. Now, this should work, I would think, and it's better than not doing anything and just going, oh, well, I missed the time frame, right? So I'm going to give you the first example, and then I'll give you the second example where this might come into play. Before we jump into it, I want to throw in a special thank you to Carlos Dixon, 2969. Carlos Dixon, thank you so much for that super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate your support very much. All right, so jumping back into this, the first example would be you put in an intent to file and you've been trying to gather your evidence. Maybe you're reaching back, you didn't realize that you didn't have your service treatment records. Life got in the way. Next thing you know, you're on month 11 of that intent to file, and you realized, oh no, I don't have my service treatment records to help provide my nexus evidence. So you have to order your service treatment records, but they're going to take a little bit of time. So you should take everything that you have. If you have lay statements, if you have buddy statements, if you have your current diagnosis, maybe you have your DD-214 already, you have everything else, but maybe the nexus is a bit fuzzy and you know that in your service treatment records you have that evidence. You could file, and two things can happen. One, the VA's duty to assist could kick in, and hopefully that works out. Number one, let's say that that the duty to assist doesn't take place like it should, or it's not something that the VA can really help with. Let's say that it's not in your service treatment records. Let's say that you actually need to go get a nexus letter as medical evidence from your doctor, and you've just been putting it off. Well, now two things could happen, right? I guess this is two examples now. So one example is VA's duty to assist kick in. They're able to actually obtain those records for you and move forward. Boom, claim gets decided. You're good to go. You did not waste your intent to file, and you have that potential for back pay all the way back to your intent to file date. So that's one version of that. The other version is the VA's duty to assist does not come into play because it is something that you need to go get that does not exist yet, right? So, for example, a nexus letter, a strong nexus letter. Now, I'm going to throw this out there. If your doctor can't, won't, or doesn't provide you the type of information that you need, i.e. a nexus letter, utilize AME. They're board-certified doctors. They could help you with DBQs, nexus letters, diagnosis, connecting primary conditions to secondary conditions, all that good stuff. They're solid. They know what they're doing. They understand the VA, AME, American Medical Experts. The link's in the description and below in the comments. All right, so that second version of you having to go get that nexus letter, well, chances are the VA is absolutely going to put you through the C&P exam. You're going to go to the C&P exam, and chances might be that the C&P examiner says, not likely to have been caused or made worse by your service. And so you did not meet that threshold of at least as likely as not. And so the VA denies you. Well, when they deny you, that opens up your ability for 1 year to then turn around and file a supplemental claim with new evidence. And so now you're going to go and hammer down on what the additional evidence you need to provide is. In this example, it would have been a nexus letter. So you're going to work with your doctor or AME or whoever the doctor is to provide you that information, thus preserving that earliest effective date of that intent to file. So very important. Now, this can keep rolling on. You can push it to the Board of Appeals, and as long as you stay within the timeframes, you're preserving that earliest effective date. So now I have another one with regard to the rating schedule changes that are coming. And the idea here is that you're supposed to have a claim filed, not just the intent to file. Intent to file is in place. Rating schedule changes coming. Let's say that we get notification that it's coming in 30 days. Then you need to file your claim. Well, what happens if you don't have everything you need prior to that date and you want to capitalize on the current rating schedule? Example would be sleep apnea, right? You want to use the current rating schedule. Well, on the VA's website, it says here, do I have to submit evidence with my claim? The answer is no. No, you don't have to submit any evidence to support your claim, but we may need to schedule an exam, claim exam, so we can learn more about your condition. So that would be the CNP exam. It says here also, you should also know that you have up to a year from the date we receive your claim to turn in any evidence. So you could supply additional evidence along the way after the fact, and it says that. And then also you have the ability for a supplemental claim in the event that they turn you down. Claims processing time right now, by the way, is about 100 days, I believe. It's 100.4 days for the VA to make a decision. So they're moving fairly quickly in comparison. So it says here, if you start your application and need time to gather more supporting documents, you can save your application and come back later to finish it. We'll recognize the date you started your application as your date of claim as long as you complete it within 365 days. What they're talking about here is an intent to file gets triggered when you start the online claims process. All right, so with that, let's talk about another potential, and again, it's one of those situations where the VA is going to do what the VA does, but if we try to do the best we can with the information that we have to protect ourselves, right? So intent to file is in place. You get notification that the rating change is coming, let's say 30 days. You need to file your claim. You don't have everything ready. Maybe you're missing the same types of things, right? So maybe it's something that can be covered by a duty to assist, or maybe it's something that you need to go get, but you just haven't had the ability to go get that. Take all of the other evidence that you have, again, whether it's buddy statements, lay statements, your own personal statement, right? Diagnosis, anything that you have, package all of that up with your claim and get that submitted. Then, if the VA has the ability to rectify your claim with some duty to assist stuff to pull in more evidence for you, great, and that's awesome. And then as the worst case, in my mind, they're going to deny you, but your claim was filed prior to the rating schedule change, and at no fault of your own, in a weird way. You don't know what you're putting together your claim, you're filing it, right? You don't know everything that the VA is going to want. And in some cases, by the way, you think you've provided them everything and they deny you anyway. So file everything that you have, do the best you can in your CNP exam to articulate whatever it is. And then if they deny you, you need to be ready to file that supplemental claim. And ideally, that's all going to preserve your claim date. So that's the way that I'm reading it and seeing it. I'd love to get your thoughts. Please put it in the comments. And I'm going to do a couple more videos on some additional information on effective dates as well. I'm doing a few of those. Just it's so crazy how many different moving pieces there are. It's just important for folks to understand. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.